for October 10th. First thing we got going tonight is a public hearing. All persons are reminded that this session is being recorded on tape for preservation of the records. You're being asked when called upon to give your name, address, and interest in the matter before the council. That matter tonight is Ordinance 550, which is an ordinance to amend Chapter 135, Article 8 regarding uses in the business local district, and to amend Chapter 135, Article 21 regarding minimum required parking spaces. Jim, would you like to give a quick summary?
Sure. As the mayor stated, this ordinance is to allow mixed use in the business local district. And as we discussed last month, mixed use allows a mix of residential, retail, and commercial uses into one space or building. This would help with some of our non-conforming uses in the downtown district with the apartments on top. It would also allow other businesses down there the opportunity to put residential above their business spaces. So the Planning and Zoning Commission did a final review last month, and they're good to go with it. And that's about it.
Any comments on parking requirements and mixed use on Main Street? I'll give you 3 seconds because I don't think we're going to have any comments. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and we'll get right to the agenda on the town council. So please rise for the opening prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. In lieu of our prayer tonight, we're going to pose for a moment of silence for all the people in Israel. Thank you. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mayor Nevin?
Here.
Councilmember Barrett?
Here.
Councilmember Painter?
Here.
Councilmember Thomas?
Here.
Councilmember Unglesby?
Here.
And Councilmember Zolman is excused.
Thank you. Minute approvals for the council meeting on the 12th of September.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? On to the town manager's report.
Alrighty. As far as the water facilities go, the planning segment of the Hampstead Water Treatment Facilities Modernization and Centralization Project continues to move along. Town staff and our engineering consultant will be meeting with representatives from MDE to discuss the town's preliminary engineering reports, along with the proper processes to take the next step forward. Additionally, we hope to receive the final ruling on what financial assistance the town will be receiving in the next few weeks. With the PFAS, last month Tom Devilbliss, with Christina's assistance, completed the town's public water system settlement claim form. It was a very tedious form which needed to include pumping numbers from each of the town's wells, along with maximum flow rates and the analysis of testing results. 2 of the 18 defendants in the class action lawsuit have arranged preliminary settlements, and we hope to begin receiving some partial compensation next year. On September 26th, Antietam Broadband used our town hall to hold a presentation on their upcoming project to make fiber internet available to every household within town limits. This project would install fiber lines and utility easements along every street in town. Some of the lines would be run underground above ground using existing utility poles, while some of the lines will be installed underground using directional boring. We are currently working on a public works agreement which will be presented to Antietam Broadband. The town's fall paving project, which the council approved MT Laney last month, should begin this week and will be completed within 2 weeks. The roads to be paved in this project include Shiloh Avenue, South Carroll Street, Mott Avenue, and West Street. On a side note, C.J. Miller is going to be in the same area, possibly starting next week also, paving county roads that adjoin town roads. These roads include Gill Avenue, Clearview Avenue, Rural Avenue, along with a small section of Century Street. The auditors have finished gathering and reviewing our fiscal year 23 financial data and have indicated that everything looks good. They're in the process of preparing the financial statements and will be submitting everything to the town and state prior to the October 31st deadline. Hampstead is currently in a drought warning. Last month we were not in the warning yet, but we're now in a drought warning. While the 3 inches of rain we received a few weekends was nice, we still were under 4 total inches for the entire month of September. We ask that everyone continue to monitor their water usage and conserve as much as possible. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Town Hall is assisting the Hampstead Police Department as a collection point for bulk bag supplies. Bulk bags contain such necessities as toiletries, first aid kits, and everything needed to make the transition to a normal life easier. Donations can be dropped off at Town Hall Monday through Friday between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. The town will also be accepting donations at the town table during Fall Fest. On October 19th from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., the HMA Hampstead Merchants Association will host Vino at the Vineyards at Galloping Goose Vineyards. Money raised from this event helps fund the Merchants Association scholarships. The town will be reserving a table for this event. Please let me know if anyone would like to attend. I know this is hard to believe, but the Department of Public Works will begin putting Christmas decorations up in approximately 16 work days. Kevin and crew have some new, very creative decorations they will be putting up. And there's 2 additional items that I was reminded of that I needed to include. The first is hydrant flushing. Public Works will be flushing the fire hydrants tomorrow evening starting at 9 p.m. This may cause some slight discoloration during the flushing hours and during the day on Thursday. It's totally usable water, but to get rid of the discoloration, just run your cold water tap until the water is clear. And the other item is bulk trash. So the last bulk trash pickup of the year will be on Saturday, October 21st. We ask that you put your bulk items out the night before. And as a reminder, Hughes will not pick up tires, non-solidified paint, motors, items with Freon oil or other hazardous waste, or they won't pick up construction materials. And that's it.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions? So Candy Cane Lane on Main, November 17th. That's when we turn the lights on, which is the Friday before Thanksgiving, which I don't think Thanksgiving can be much earlier than it is this year. And the Community Yard Sale Day, otherwise known as bulk trash, will be on the 21st. So, all right, oversight responsibilities. Diane, let's start with you as usual.
All right, overall, the farmers market had a very successful 2023 season. We only had to cancel the market once this year due to bad weather. That was on September 23rd during Tropical Storm Ophelia. The following week, closing day on September 30th, was very well attended. Throughout the season, our produce, meat, and cheese vendors made generous donations to the Westminster Rescue Mission to help community members in need. This season, we had our youngest vendor so far, and she was a 16-year-old who sold Western-themed jewelry. We also had a very unique vendor this year who made handcrafted games that were played centuries ago. The advisory team will meet on October 16th to work on plans for the Christmas market, which will be held the evening of Friday, November 17th, along with the Christmas tree lighting festivities, and during the day on Saturday, November 18th at St. John's Church. And at this time, I would just like to give a shout out to Keith Johnson, our market manager, for successful completion of 4 years managing the market. I happened to hear someone ask him at the last market of the season whether he was going to continue managing next year. His response to that was, "I'll keep doing it until I can't." So just really appreciate Keith's enthusiasm and dedication, and his wife Lois for supporting him in this endeavor and serving as our treasurer. So thank you both. That's all I have.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't be the farmers. I mean, Marlene and Sharon started it, and Keith has carried it on their tradition very well. And without his commitment, there wouldn't be a farmers market. And also, thank you to you and Wayne for your contributions and commitment to the market and for how well it did this year.
Thank you, and the rest of the team as well.
Wayne?
Hampstead train station, our music in the park ended in a drizzle. We tried rescheduling the Blue Moon Big Band, but
Then a tropical storm hit.
yeah. So that didn't go very well. Fall Fest was supposed to be this past Saturday, and we've postponed it till this coming Saturday. But based on the weather forecast, I'm thinking about changing it to a boat show. Don't know how that's going to turn out. We'll be calling it sometime Thursday.
I hear the rain's supposed to come in later Saturday, yes? No?
I-
We don't know yet?
I-
I don't know.
All the weather forecasts I'm seeing are,
All day?
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out Thursday. The Hampstead train station is going to be happy to be sponsoring the Christmas Farmers Market again this year, as Diane mentioned, on the 17th and 18th of November. And the station will close at the end of this month. So the last Saturday of this month will be the last day that we're open this year. Tree Commission, we've got a fall planting scheduled for North Carroll Farm Section 4. It's going to happen the first or second Saturday in November. More to come on that. I know we have some volunteers that have stepped up. And
Yes,
so,
and
yeah.
Dawn's going to volunteer too.
Yeah, so we'll be getting that out. We had many trees die over the last couple of years up at North Carroll Farm, so we're going to do some replanting.
Okay,
That's it for me.
thank you. Deb?
Okay. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on Wednesday, September 27th. The first order of business was the approval of signage for the Shell Jiffy Mart at 1155 South Main Street. They will be upgrading their existing signs to include the Shell logo. This includes a freestanding monument sign, illuminated canopy sign, and a wall-mounted building sign. In addition, the signs are currently white and they will now be red and yellow and should be completed by the end of the year. As Jim stated earlier, the commission reviewed and recommended the amended Ordinance 550 to council for adoption, which was on the agenda for this evening as a public hearing. They also recommended the adoption of Resolution PZC 2023-01 to Town Council, which is an amendment to the 2010 Community Comprehensive Plan for the Town of Hampstead. And then water. The September 2023 average water usage was 345,000 gallons per day. October 2023 average so far, 354,000 gallons per day. Rainfall for September 2023 was 3.93 inches, and so far for October is 0.37 inches. And as a second reminder, Public Works will be flushing the hydrants on October 11th, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m.
All right, finally Dave.
Yes. Sugar Maple Park, the installation of the obstacle course and the swing area has begun. Construction for the park is to be completed by the end of this month, October, but we will have some additional amenities which will be added to the park in the next coming months. As far as other things I've attended, I attended the MML board retreat along with the mayor. We took a tour of Kent County and stopped at several different municipalities, which I found really enjoyable and got a lot of good ideas that we could maybe do here in Hampstead. Also, this
Like
week...
put us on the bay?
That would be nice, yeah, put us on, like, very good. MML, this weekend is going to be MML Fall Conference, and I'm the chair this year of the Conference Planning Committee for the Summer Conference, so we're going to have a meeting in College Park, and we also are going to have an MML Board of Directors meeting that I'm on the board as well, and we'll be doing that in the afternoon.
All right, Dave, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. During the month of September, with reference to traffic safety, we had 3 reportable accidents, 8 minor property damage only, and 5 crashes took place at the 482 Circle.
Got it.
Speed signs were placed at 4 locations for a total of 68 days of display. With reference to general traffic enforcement, we conducted 14 selective enforcements over a total of 7 hours. During those activities, 31 citations and 8 warnings were issued. Overall traffic enforcement included 238 citations and 294 warnings. We conducted 479 property checks. With reference to crime activity, We had 2 reports of vandalism, essentially MDOP, 1 theft, 1 ID theft, and 1 violation of a peace order. 28 people were arrested during the month of September, 16 for serious traffic offenses, 7 DUIs, 3 outstanding arrest warrants, 1 individual was charged, actually a juvenile referral for a violation of MDOP, and 1 individual was charged with CDS possession. Training included 136 hours of various topics, including Casey Mann successfully completed firearm instructor school. Matt Bachman successfully completed field training instructor certification, so he's now an FTO. Several of our officers went through Links training. That's essentially like an Intel type application where it allows us to look and see reports from other agencies throughout the state. We had Officer Emery completed Advanced Roadside Impaired Driving Enforcement, ARIDE training, and we had several officers went through our own in-house drug driver training. Community events included the Brandywine Station HOA, Roberts Field HOA. We participated in Amtrak's Operation Rail Safe this year, and we also participated with the Manchester Valley Stampede. And that will give a report.
Questions for Chief? Thank you. So my report, we received a very nice note from Mr. Farrell, who apparently watches us on CMC, about the benches that we now have installed along Main Street. So thanking us for all that. And I will continue to try to watch my tapping, which is just a nervous habit I have up here of doing it, which he pointed out in the letter as well. So, but thank you to Mr. Farrell for the recognition of the benches, and hopefully everybody's seen them along Main Street. There were meetings that I attended this month, as Jim and others have pointed out, related to broadband and water system improvements, particularly as they relate to PFAS. And Dave mentioned the MML Fall Conference, which will start this Sunday, and there's legislative committees, Maryland Mayors Association, and Board of Directors meetings that will be attended to there with all our fellow municipal officials across the state. And then I've already thanked Diane and team for a great farmers market season. So that was just really well done as usual. And that basically is my report. On to new businesses is always a good thing to do. You know, our police department, we make sure they get recognized for jobs well done and going above and beyond the call of duty. And so Chief and I would like to recognize some of our officers tonight, and then we're going to install a new one officially, and we're going to recognize somebody else who is leaving us because she's retiring after 25 very good years of service. So, Chief, without further ado, you want to start with Wilt, Emery, and Bannock?
Why don't we start with the other one first?
Okay. We'll do that one.
And I appreciate the time from the council and the mayor, for everybody here in the audience. I have a great fortune every day. I get the chance to work with some great folks.
And for anybody here that's on TV, you're going to have to talk into that mic. I know you hate it.
I don't like the mic.
Take it
I'll
off
speak
the
up as
stand.
loud as I can.
Hold it in your hand.
I have then there's a whole like Elvis thing going on there.
Whatever works.
I'm a little intimidated by the microphone, so I'll speak up as loudly as I can. I have the great fortune of working with some great people on a daily basis. And I get to witness a lot of great police work, and we have an opportunity to share it with the public every so often. When we write these accommodations up, they basically have to fit on one page. And it's hard sometimes to get basically the essence of everything that took place that goes into a commendable activity. You just can't put it on, on one page. So I like to speak about it a little bit before I read these things off. On Saturday, April 15th, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we had an armed robbery at the Delta 9 smoke shop at the Lower Black Rock Circle. And one of the things that's hard to share with everybody is whenever you have an incident like that, there is a ton of confusion that takes place. people, everybody wants to give you information, everybody wants to point you in the right direction, everybody from the victim involved to the other police officers. There's a lot of confusion, and one of the things that guys have to do is manage that confusion so they can get to the root of the problem. Our officers responded there. They conducted some outstanding crime scene evaluations. They did some great follow-ups. They were able to identify rather quickly where this gentleman came from. Ultimately, they would identify the individual and learn that he was a guy with a significant criminal history, including a homicide that he had been charged with. They coordinated with several other agencies, and within 48 hours, they were able to have this person in custody in Baltimore. And one of the things that always impresses me by the way we do our work here is, in between doing this, they were answering other calls. Other calls came in for everything from barking dogs to traffic accidents to everything in between. But they were able to make this thing happen, and it was some great police work. So if I could have Corporal Cranshaw and Casey Mann, come on up here. I'm going to read this the way it was written. On Saturday, April 15th, at approximately 13:56 hours, an individual committed an armed robbery. Again, I'm picturing on TV. At the Delta 9 Smoke Shop located in the Lower Beckersville Shopping Center, the suspect fled shortly before police arrival. Corporal Jonathan Cranshaw, Officers Casey Mann and Samantha Reese were working that afternoon. They responded to the scene and began to check the area for the suspect, as well as securing the crime scene. The suspect was last seen fleeing from the rear of the business. A police canine was summoned and attempted to track the suspect with negative results. The officers worked as a team and began to canvass the apartment complex in order to locate witnesses and possible evidence. While doing so, they would locate witnesses and video that would be critical in identifying the suspect. Ultimately, after interviewing several witnesses, they were able to identify a suspect. The individual had an extensive criminal history, including homicide. An arrest warrant was obtained, and the subject was later taken into custody in Baltimore with the assistance of the U.S. Marshal Service later that week and returned to Carroll County for prosecution. This teamwork was critical in identifying the suspect and leading to their arrest. As such, these officers are being recognized with this unit citation.
You want to give them each so they can hold it.
That's one for Jonathan, and
There you go. They're side by side. Now you have to actually get in a picture. I know you don't like to smile.
I am.
Good job, guys.
Here, Dave.
Oh, thanks. I moved them.
I know.
Back in front of the mic.
Back in front of the microphone. On Monday, August 7th, and that was the first night of the carnival. It ended up being canceled, and it was fortunate of that. Several officers were here. Our plan that night was to primarily focus on the carnival. That's usually where our activity is when that's open. And what we didn't really expect was a major storm came through. Significant wind damage, there was hail in some places. Trees were down, power was out. It was a serious storm. And to give you an idea of the volume of calls that were associated with here in Carroll County, in the police cars that you see out there, the officers have computers. And the calls that are assigned throughout the county, it sort of looks like an Excel spreadsheet. And it'll basically populate, and it will move so that you can see the next call comes in and so on and so forth. Well, that particular night, I was working with these guys as well. And during the height of the storm, the calls were coming in so fast that you couldn't read them on the screen. It was just populating so fast. And it was difficult for the system to to really manage that volume of work that was coming in. At the time, Corporal Vanek and Officer Wilt were coming back from Westminster when the storm hit, and they had been returning after trying to locate a theft suspect over there on another case. And they were able to pick up one of the calls that was stuck in this just sheer volume that was almost impossible for the dispatchers to keep up with. And Corporal Vanek recognized that it was just outside of the town limits, but that nobody had recognized the significance of the call because there was serious injuries to a party that was involved in this. And the story was that there was a young mother from up in the Hanover area, and she was driving home. She had her 2 children in the car. Trees fell down on both sides of where this woman was traveling, and one of the trees fell down. There was a branch that actually pierced through the car, and it pierced through this young lady's arm to the point where she had significant injuries. She needed immediate medical attention, and because of the nature of the storm and the roadways, there was really no way to get an ambulance there easily. So Officer Emery was the first to respond, got himself within roughly a quarter mile of where this person was, and the road was no longer passable. He couldn't get a police car through there. He was able to get himself through the various debris, get to the young lady that needed assistance, and he was followed shortly afterwards by Corporal Vanek and Officer Welt. This lady was seriously injured to the point where it was necessary to apply a tourniquet to her arm. But the problem was there was no way to get a vehicle to this car. So the officers used some ingenuity and assistance with a chainsaw, and were able to create a path sufficient that they could get a police car up to where this was taking place, and then ultimately transport this woman to the fire department, where we were able to get EMS there to attend to her. It was necessary for Corporal Vanek to crawl in the back seat while Officer Emery was driving and apply another tourniquet to this lady because of the seriousness of her injuries. And at the same time, she had 2 children that were with her. One of the children had a head injury, and Officer Wilt was able to get assistance with one of the neighbors, load them in the back of his police car, and make the same trip these guys did up to the fire department. It was incredible police work. Sometimes in this job, there are things that are not in the book. This was one of those evenings, and they were able to use their ingenuity, common sense, and it turned into a great story. So I'm going to read the commendation here, and this is for all 3 of the officers. During the early evening of Monday, August 7th, 2023, a major storm came through the Hampstead area with strong winds and rain, creating a substantial amount of damage. Officer Emery responded to the report of an accident with an injured person that was suffering from significant bleeding. On his arrival to the call, he found an impassable roadway with a vehicle in the distance. He would make his way through the downed trees and debris to find a female driver and her 2 young children. While driving, a large tree fell on the vehicle, and a branch impaled the driver through her left arm. She was bleeding profusely, and one of the children had sustained a head injury. The roadways were impassable, and EMS was unable to reach the area. Shortly after arriving on scene, Officer Emery was joined by responding Hampstead officers Corporal Vanek and Officer Wilt. The group would work as a team, applying a tourniquet to the female driver as her injury was life-threatening. They then cleared the roadway sufficiently to gain access to the scene with a police vehicle. Officer Emery and Corporal Vanek would place the seriously injured victim in the rear of the police vehicle and make their way to the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department. While Officer Emery was driving, Corporal Vanek continued to attend to the female victim, including the need to apply another tourniquet. PFC Wilt would place the children in his vehicle and, with the assistance of 2 neighbors, transport the children to the fire department as well. All victims were turned over to the EMS personnel upon their arrival at the Hampstead Fire Department. The exceptional work by this group of officers in providing life-saving measures in extreme circumstances is being recognized in this commendation of life-saving. So Brian, if you could come up here, please. Dan's unable to make it tonight, so we'll do it with the two of us.
Everything turned out all right.
Everything turned out, everybody is okay.
Thank you. Well done. Well done.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, new guy.
Still going?
Yep.
Jesse, why don't you come on up here?
You'll figure out a way.
Yeah, you'll be. You go.
Luckily, nobody needs a tourniquet tonight.
Hey,
So far.
Yeah. It's a family affair. They should have figured this out. You married him.
The council and the mayor have seen this, and some of the folks in the audience. We've done this a couple times. Basically, we call this a badge ceremony, and we have an opportunity to. They have a ceremony, obviously, when you graduate from the police academy. The mayor and I attended Jesse's graduation back on September 1st, and it has its place, but I don't think it does the same. It doesn't do the same as our little badge ceremony that we have here. And I do that just to remind everybody that, that we issue a badge, everybody gets a badge. But it is not their individual's badge. It's not the mayor's badge, it's not the council's badge. It's really the community, everybody that sits out here. It's your badge. And you entrust that we will give that badge and the responsibilities that go with that to people that are worthy of that. It's a symbol of sort of a compact between us and the community. And I think it's our obligation as individuals when we have that to make sure that we're living up to those responsibilities, because it's not going to be yours forever. It's going to go to somebody else, and it'll move on from there. So we have this to sort of share the accomplishment of getting to this point of completing the academy process and the training. And to remind the sort of the public that this is a profession that involves, it involves your family. It is in many ways a way of life. You will miss milestones, maybe not as many as some younger guys, not to make an old guy joke. But you miss you miss holidays, you miss special events. If you plan to go and attend a family thing at the end of your shift, more likely than not, you're going to be late or you're going to miss it because something will happen that will tie you up. That is part of the job. But it is a profession. I remind guys all the time, we have been criticized as a profession over the last several years. Some of it was very fair, some of it was not. As a general rule, we try to do the right things. It's not always possible. We're in the business, I remind guys all the time, of dealing with the challenges of the human experience, and we do it with people. So it is difficult at best. Despite this, we still have some good people that want to do this. And Jesse comes to us with an incredible resume. He retired from Frederick County Sheriff's, where he spent several years in the prison, in the jail. He was a supervisor there. He was in charge of various units, a lot of people. He has done his time in public safety, but he still has some gas left in the tank. And I remember we went through the application process, and we got towards the end of the process. I had to sit down and have a conversation with him. I said, you're going to go to a different environment. We're going to start all over again. All right. And he assured me that, he was ready for that, and he certainly hasn't let us down. We put a lot of faith in our applicants that we put to the police academy because they have to complete the process. And if at any point in time they don't meet some of the standards, then all the time and effort we put into to get them to that point, it's kind of over. To put it in perspective, Everybody starts with basically an application. They go through the interview process here. Sometimes it's more than one interview. Ultimately, they get to a background investigation. From that, they have to complete a polygraph exam, a psychological exam, a medical, physical, as well as a physical test to get into the police academy. Any one of those things can and have in the past disqualified candidates that we thought were going to be able to make it through. From there, you go to the police academy, and to put it in perspective, kind of together a little cheat sheet here on all the stuff that you've done. 1,080 hours of instruction. Jesse completed this. 25 written exams. Any one of those written exams you don't pass, then the process is over. It ends there. And one of the things I think that the public doesn't always appreciate, we can get anywhere in this process short of the graduation date, and we can lose a candidate if they're unable to complete. 6 practical exams he completed with sub-exams, for lack of a better description. These are things such as firearms, emergency vehicle operation, defensive tactics, any of those things where he's unable to demonstrate that he can physically do these things to the standards as the state has established. It's basically, it's over. And then he also has to pass a fitness test to get out. Everybody that goes to the police academy does this. Jesse did it. He began the process on February 27th, and as I said, he graduated on September 1st. With all that being said, he's not done yet. He is currently in field training, all right, so you'll see him riding with another officer. When he completes that, he'll be eligible for what we call unescorted patrol. That's 320 hours minimum, and once he meets the standards and he is considered acceptable to work on his own, supervisors and the field training officers sign off, and he's ready to go. He's evaluated on a daily, weekly, and he will continue on a monthly basis for the next year. And at the conclusion of that, after his 1-year probation, that's when the supervisors will make a recommendation as to whether or not he continues as a regular officer or he doesn't complete it. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll complete that, but I say all that to give the public, and everybody sitting here rather, an idea of what goes into getting a police officer to the point like the guys you see in the back of the room here. All that goes into to the system. There's a whole lot of people that contribute to that, including the folks here in Town Hall. We just wouldn't be able to make it all work without all the help. So with that being said, Jesse's already been sworn in once, and
We do this
we
for
do
the
it
public.
again publicly.
All right, raise your right hand. I, Jesse L. Burris Jr.,
I, Jesse L. Burris Jr.,
do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland,
to the state of Maryland,
the town of Hampstead,
the town of Hampstead,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to my best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of Police Officer of the Hampstead Police Department
execute the office of Police Officer of the Hampstead Police Department
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the constitutional laws of this state.
Congratulations.
One of the reasons why we do this, and I should have said this earlier, but in the police academy, the actual pinning ceremony, they have their rules. Essentially, it has to be somebody that's either in law enforcement, former law enforcement, or military. Jesse's son is with Homeland Security, so he was able to pin him during this. But I never liked that because, as I said,
His son liked it.
His son liked it, but I think it's more important for just other people in the family to have a chance to put that on because it does impact your family. And it is a family affair, for lack of a better description. But we're lucky to have him, and glad you can share him with us. So, congratulations.
Picture now.
Okay, sorry, I'm supposed to.
Yes, you are absolutely in the picture. Thank you. Congratulations again. Thank you.
Now we're going to go to the other end.
The other end, we have to recognize somebody who served us for 25 years. And there's a few things we have to give out, but Ms. Donna Lee, you wanted to say a few words, so the floor is yours.
Nope. Trunk.
You turn around right there, is that it? Stacy, you want to come up?
This is what you wanted to see. So I can go to the mic since.
No, you can just do it from here. You got the mic right above your head.
Yep. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Et c'était remise de démonstration, speaking French. Avec plaisir to be here this evening to honor cette nous commençons ensemble à jouer et demain. Tuer aux les gens et magnifiquement une icône. Vingt-cinq roses, 25 roses. Je viens dans votre ça. Now the translation. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Forgot to say je m'appelle Donna Elizabeth Lee. I am named Donna Elizabeth Lee. I am here along with friends of Lieutenant Stacy's to honor this fabulous woman. Our hearts, her friends' hearts, are now hers. Today and tomorrow. Adjournment is one of my favorite words in French because we all share today, all of us. You are a legend, and now you are an icon. 25 roses, 25 years. Julien dans le Bacassab is something between she and I, very special, something that's almost cosmic. So, I can't tell you what you have meant to me. And all of you, and I look at this and I see such an array of wonderful people. Hampstead is what it is today because of the traditions and the values and the attitudes and the beliefs. One of the safest cities in the state of Maryland. Probably one of the safest cities on the eastern coast. And I've lived in some cities. So, thank you all for opening your doors and your hearts to me. And you know how I feel about this town. And I've tried every day of my 7 years here to be a good citizen, difficult as I can be, and I don't take or apologize for any of it. I have apologized to 2 people in my life, and one happens to be here right now. So thank you for everything that you've done for me, and I can't tell you. Jouez bien dans le Bacassab.
Thank you.
Thanks. Merci beaucoup.
All right, I don't know how I top that, but we'll try. Yep. Well, best I can do. So we have a town proclamation. Whereas Stacy Gagler has meritoriously served the town of Hampstead Police Department for 25 years, starting her career as a patrol officer in 1998, when she was the first female officer in the history of the department. Whereas Stacy Gagler was promoted to increasing roles of responsibility. In January of 2001, Stacy certified as a K-9 officer along with her K-9 partner Bear. I almost forgot about that. In February of 2010, Stacy was promoted to detective. In October of 2012, Stacy was promoted to sergeant, and in January of 2019, Stacy was promoted to lieutenant. Whereas Stacy Gagler dedicated many hours of service and support to the National Night Out and Shot with a Cop programs, and in this service helped to improve the quality of life in our town. And whereas Stacy Gabler is well respected by fellow law enforcement officers, allied agencies, and as Ms. Donna just pointed out, most importantly, the residents of Hampstead for her professionalism while serving with honesty, integrity, and accountability. Now therefore, I, Christopher M. Nevin, Mayor of the Town of Hampstead, hereby recognize Stacy Gabler for her legacy of service in law enforcement to our town and extend our best wishes to her on her well-earned retirement and for continued success and happiness in the years to come. And hereby proclaim today, October 10th, 2023, Stacy Gabler Day in the Town of Hampstead.
All right.
We got a key,
Yay.
so you're good. At least you can have. Yes. Dave.
We got a couple other things.
Yep.
A jar of candy. Nora says, hey.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, let's start with them first.
Well, we have a retirement clock, I guess,
It's certificate of years of service.
for years of service.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
And one of the things that's kind of traditional when people retire in law enforcement is shadow box. So this basically, it has our patch, lieutenant bars. Stacy's retiring as a lieutenant, so it's appropriate to put that badge in there as well. A little notation about her years of service and her name tag, which goes back to 1998. So there's not many of those out there. So congratulations.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Switching.
You're gonna need a truck to get out of here.
I got pretty strong bread.
I have been, it's been very fortunate to serve the town for 25 years, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It was just my time to go, and I'm very, very glad that I did all 25 years up here, and I'm glad Chris took a chance on me.
Our pleasure.
So,
Thank you again.
thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome back.
And now for a second. Yep, so we have a couple of appointments to do. We'll do the voting, and then I got a couple more swearing-ins to do. So first one is the reappointment of Mike Kuntz to the Ethics Commission for a term of 3 years. Mike, I don't know, third or fourth appointment, but he served us well. Hopefully, he's the most inactive person that we have in town government, but, you know, he's there nonetheless. So a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. And then reappointment of Mike Josick to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a term of 3 years as well. Mike served us for a few different terms, and he brings a law background, which is most needed on the Board of Zoning Appeals.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And then the reappointment of Vicki Watts to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a term of 3 years. She's also served us capably and well for a few terms as well, and continues to want to serve. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. So, I'm grateful to these three folks for continuing to step up and serve our town. It's not the easiest thing to want to do. You don't get paid well for it. Social media out there, sometimes, it's what it is, but you just carry on, do the right thing, and we're better off for the service. And so I continue to thank you all for stepping up. So Michael, we'll do you first. Kuntz, and then Josick. Sorry, you're both Michaels.
Right.
All right. I'm Michael Kuntz.
I, Michael Kuntz,
do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
the town of Hampstead,
the town of Hampstead,
support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office as a member of the Hampstead Ethics Commission,
execute the office as a member of the Hampstead Ethics Commission,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
Thank you, sir.
Never see him again.
Sign. Blue pen.
I got signs.
I thought my scribble was bad.
I should have been a doctor.
That's yours. That's ours.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
All right, Mr. Josic. Michael, the second. Here you go. All right. I, Michael Josic,
I, Michael Josic,
do swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
the town of Hampstead,
the town of Hampstead,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office as a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals of the town of Hampstead,
execute the office as a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals of the town of Hampstead,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Blue pens.
And I'll attest, you guys still sign this one too. You get one, we get one. You know how this works.
You know the records.
You keep that one. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, another proclamation, last one for the evening, so recognizing a lot of folks, organizations. Richard, you want to come on up? So this is Richard Turner, and we always talk about the Carroll Media Center and the cameras. Well, this is the man that's responsible for everything that happened here. And we are recognizing the Carroll Media Center as a result of this. But, and it was during COVID, I think, that I thought you were another employee for a while for all the wiring that went on and everything else, but we're up to today's standards as a result of his efforts. So whereas the Carroll Media Center of Carroll County provides valuable information to the community that is not covered by mainstream commercial media, that is for sure. Whereas the Community Media Center provides community members, nonprofit organizations, schools, and government agencies with the resources to produce and distribute content of importance to their local communities. Whereas the Community Media Center of Carroll County has been a great partner with the town of Hampstead in upgrading our technology and broadcasting abilities within our town hall. And whereas Carroll Media Center of Carroll County plays a vital role building the Hampstead community by encouraging conversations about our common interests, increasing awareness around policy issues, fostering understanding of local matters, and celebrating our community and sharing information to improve our lives. Now therefore, I, Christopher Nevin, Mayor of the Town of Hampstead, do hereby proclaim October 20th, 2023, Carroll Media Center of Carroll County Day. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Back to the mundane stuff of government. There's a couple of things to do for ordinances and resolutions. First, the adoption of Ordinance 550, which is an ordinance to amend Chapter 135, Article 12 regarding uses in the BL, Business Local District, and to amend Chapter 135, Article 11 regarding minimum required parking spaces, which was the subject of our public hearing on which nobody commented. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And then lastly, the introduction of Resolution 2023-04, which is a resolution to adopt an amendment to the 2010 Community Comprehensive Plan for the town of Hampstead. This is an introduction. I guess we'll have a public hearing on it.
We will.
Next month, but basically, we're going to allow the Random House, now warehouse, to be annexed into the town of Hampstead. And that's the primary reason for the only reason for the resolution. So a motion to introduce this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Public comments. Going once, twice. Well, thank you all for being with us tonight. I think it was great that we got to recognize so many people for their service to the town, for our police officers, people being appointed to the various commissions, to Carroll Media Center for everything they've done for us. And I guess the last thing I'll say is we're half an hour into the O's game. I hope they're doing great.
They
So,
better win tonight,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, one and all.